So Biden was asked over the weekend, can you please answer the damn question? Voters are asking for it. Listen to what Joe Biden had to say. And as you're listening to this, can you just imagine what the left will be doing if the president answered any question, the way Joe Biden answers this question? Check this out.
About packing the courts, and I know that you said yesterday you aren't going to answer the question until after the election. But this is the number one thing that I've been asked about from viewers in the past couple of days.
Well, you've been asked by the viewers who are probably Republicans who don't want me continuing to talk about what they're doing to the court right now.
Well, sir, don't the voters deserve to know where you stand?
No, they don't. I'm not going to play his game.
Joe Biden doesn't want to answer the question about packing the court. Now, that seems to be the platform of the Democrat Party. Chuck Schumer is in favor of packing the court. Nancy Pelosi seems to be in favor of packing the court. You know what, the real whack jobs on the left, they love that. They want to pack the court with 20 liberal justices, right? Hey, just go ahead. Have at it. Joe Biden doesn't want to answer the question because it could only be one of two things. Now, the media would say, well, dear old Uncle Joe, he's a moderate. And he's not really for packing the courts. Now, he won't say that. We never heard him say that. But he's not really for packing the courts, but he doesn't want to really come out and say it definitively because he doesn't want to lose the left. He doesn't want to lose the AOCs of the world, the Ilhan Omars of the world, the Antifas of the world. Now, I tend to think it's the opposite. I think Joe Biden has been completely co-opted by the left. Look at who he chose as the vice president. Kamala Harris is probably the most radical, not probably, she is the most radical vice presidential nominee in history. Joe Biden's platform is the most leftist platform out of any presidential candidate in history. Okay? We know Joe Biden wants to pack the court. And because poll numbers show Americans don't want to upend this system, because the Supreme Court is not supposed to be political. The Supreme Court is not about creating laws. The Supreme Court is about interpreting law, looking at precedent. Sometimes the Supreme Court sets new precedent, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. But now there's a new tactic. Since the poll numbers have come out that the American people don't support packing the court, now we have to reshape and remold the idea, the phraseology of packing the court. You know, let's try this one on for size, because these people, they're not paying attention. These Republican hicks, right? And, you know, our constituents, they're too stupid too. Why don't we try this? Why don't we reframe the message and say the Republicans are the ones packing the court? The hell's this guy talking about? Yes. Because now we have to change the definition. Instead of the definition being what it is, adding new justices to the Supreme Court, expanding the court from 9 justices to what? 15, 16, 20 justices. No. The Republicans have been packing the Supreme Court because every time they have an opportunity, every time a Republican president has an opportunity, he nominates a conservative justice. So you get it now. They're the ones packing the court. When the president fulfills his constitutional right to name someone to the court when somebody dies or somebody retires, because the president puts a conservative justice, or what we hope is a conservative justice up there, that's really packing the court. So that's a new tactic. Isn't it great? The Democrats are so clever, right? No, just completely change the phrasing. If it's phrased correctly, then the dupes won't understand what we're trying to do to them. The dupes are just, these matters are just too complicated, way too sophisticated for the hicks in America. And it's not just this. I'll play Dick Durbin's, Dickless Durbin from Chicago. I'm gonna play his video in just a moment. But there's many cases we see the left constantly changing phrases, changing the meaning of words. So you notice when it comes to abortion. Now, if people were to pay attention and you say, well, what is abortion? Now, we all know what abortion is. You're killing babies. You're murdering harmless, little, innocent babies. Now, let's look at it for what it is. If you had a baby, the baby was born, and somebody came along and snuffed that kid out, in the crib a couple of days after he was born, isn't that murder? That would be murder. People say, oh my God, how horrible and how disgusting it is. Because it is horrible and disgusting. But if it's abortion, we can't call it that because abortion still has a little negative connotation to it. Those Bible thumpers out there, they've done a very good job at framing the message of abortion. So let's just remove the word altogether. Let's get rid of that. Why don't we call it, I got it. Reproductive health. Yes, reproductive health. I like that one. Because if you were to listen, folks, right, think about this for a second. Let's think about this logically. If you're not paying attention to politics, you go to work, you're doing your thing, you're taking care of your family, maybe you're single, and you want to go and, date abroad, take her out to a restaurant, spend money and to get no action later. At the end of the day, no pussy. The fact is, that's what happens. Listen, that's what happens. You say, I'm not gonna go. I'll get you some dating tips in the future, but I don't spend money on chicks. We go Dutch until she proves herself. You know what I'm saying? Even after that, listen. I ain't coughing up mad dough. You can relax on that. But you see, if you are living your life and you hear this phrase reproductive health, what does that mean to you? What would the first thought be that would come to your mind? Reproductive health. Now, for me, I would think, okay, that's a woman who is thinking about having children, and she's going to her gynecologist, and she's meeting with her experts overall and trying to make sure everything is good down there. You know what I'm saying? Why you don't want to go through the process, your husband's slamming you real good every night, and then no kid pops out. I mean, that's embarrassing, and it's also quite devastating. So reproductive health, but no. That's not what reproductive health means. Reproductive health is a very benign way of saying a wholesale murder of little babies. That's what it is. You see? And it's not just that. When we talk about inequality, we talk about, it's critical race theory. Who wouldn't want to talk about diversity in the workplace? So they play the game with that. And we saw Chris Wallace try to trip up the president in the first presidential debate. The president wants to remove the requirement for government workers to sit down and have a bunch of flat black chicks come in there and start complaining about racism all day. And so the president says, you know what, we're not going to spend money on that. What the hell is this?